Good morning, my friends. I hope that these practices of using mindful awareness with feelings of anxiety and fear are giving you something not only to practice, but to think about, related to what it is that tends to bring up those feelings of anxiety and fear most often. Sometimes we're so ready to shut down those feelings because they leave us feeling quite vulnerable, which in fact we are quite vulnerable, but we don't want to know that consciously. And yet not knowing that consciously leaves us wide open to the uncertainties and challenges in life that bring up adrenaline, tension, feeling wound up, restless, fatigued, worn out, irritable, tense, and maybe even having difficulty sleeping. When any of these things are happening to you, this is an indication that your fear and your anxiety needs your mindful attention. When we find ourselves overwhelmed by troubling thoughts, powerful emotions, or strong reactions against things beyond our control, mindfulness is a tool to bring our awareness back to the present moment. And in that present moment, there is a source of calm and nourishment through the breath. Always through the breath, which is really an incredible gift of the waves of life coming in and out of our bodies and our spirits and our minds that is always available. And when we strengthen ourselves through a regular practice, we come to feel stronger and more able to use even brief mindfulness practice like our last exercise and meditation during times of actual stress and tension, to take that break just for a few moments or minutes and practice that series of 4 steps to go into the nourishment of the waves of your breath. Release the tension and judging. Release the anxiety about the future and transition back into your daily life right then and right now. Daily we practice non-fear and looking deeply into fears. Nobody can give us fearlessness, which Tai says is not only possible, but is the ultimate joy. That when you touch non-fear, you are truly free to live, even though there is fear behind our joy, that this moment will end, that we won't get what we need, that we will lose what we love, or that we will not be safe, or that one day our bodies will simply cease functioning. These and other things more deeply that live under our experience of fear and the difficulty accepting that these are a simple reality in being alive. Our joy cannot be complete. We have the power to look deeply at our fears, and then fear cannot control or trap us. So let us be seated if you're not seated already, and allow your eyes to close as you gently breathe. One hand on your belly, and noticing that in and out breath coming in like waves and going out like waves in your belly. Allowing that breath to go through your entire body and carry out with it anything that you don't need right now, including tension. I invite you again to bring an experience or a time of fear or anxiety into your mind. Ideally one that is present with you today, still, and may be related to experiences in your childhood or experiences in your present, or both. Fear of being lost or shamed, alone, incompetent, sick, or in need of care, or something very specific that is arising right now in your present life. Bring it to mind. And to look deeply at fears, there's an exercise that helps me a great deal. And that is asking the 5 whys, as in WHY. When you have the fear anchored in your mind and you feel it in your body, we begin to ask the first why. And with every answer, we again ask, and why is that? And why is that? And why is that? Until we reach 5. And most often, for most people, when you reach that 5th why, you will have a much deeper understanding of what this fear is truly about at its core. I'm not sure why it works this way, but I know from experience that it does. So join me and ask your first why of what it is that you're holding in your mind that is fearful or anxious. Ask why. Why is this fear right there? And listen for the first answer that arises. Don't complicate it. And as you get that answer, hold it in your mind for just a moment, because, and ask the second why. And why am I afraid of this? What am I afraid to lose or not get that I need? And when you have your first answer, ask the next why. And why am I afraid of that? What am I afraid of? Holding it in your mind, your first response, ask the next why. And why am I afraid of that? You're getting closer, and you may feel even a sense of heaviness in your body or your heart. And from there, ask the last why. Why am I so deeply afraid of this? The last thing that came up from asking why. And listen. Notice what you're hearing. Notice what you're sensing. And notice how your body feels as you reflect mindfully on this why. I shared with you just the other day that I have a fear that can arise of utter aloneness. This was my 5th why. Now mindfully, I can stand right in that fear in my imagination. I can literally look around in my imagination and see it, the landscape around me and within me. And as I breathe, I come to know that I am never truly alone unless I choose to be. I have choices. It is not the end of the world. See if you can practice with this, my friends, and see what you find. Namaste. Amen.